I'm going to do a quick review for the Outlaw Josey Wales. This is my favorite Clint Eastwood movie. Josie is a Missouri farmer who is tending his field, and then some riders, irregular partisan riders from Kansas right across the border, they attack him, they murder his family, and they burn his farm to the ground. Now, these things actually happen on the border war out in the Western theater. We often had in American history reprisal attacks and raids committed both by Jayhawkers from Kansas, also known as Redlegs, and partisan fighters from Missouri that are known as bushwhackers. These were irregular units of cavalry, usually. And it was pretty brutal and pretty awful. So this is a very realistic depiction of, what happened during that time. This was not civilized warfare in any stretch of the means. This was just pure vengeance and murder and destruction. And Josie, he hasn't chosen a side in the conflict. He's kind of neutral, but this pushes him to join a partisan unit led by Bloody Bill Anderson. Now, Bloody Bill Anderson was a real historical figure, and he was responsible for the Centralia massacre. He was a man that rode with Quantrell. So when you see these partisan fighters, these guerrillas, surrender to the Union, the man that's there, that's the senator that's talking to John Vernon's character, Fletcher, Fletcher kind of gets into it with the senator, right? Well, the senator is Senator Jim Lane. Jim Lane was a real historical figure. He was a man that mobilized the Kansas partisans. And when Quantrell's raiders came into Lawrence, Kansas, to go on their rampage and to with their list of people to execute, Senator Jim Lane was one of the people that they were there to put in the ground. So there's a lot of historical authenticity in this movie mixed in with some things that are not so historically accurate. But for the most part, this is a extremely well done treatment of the Civil War and post-Civil War. I really like all of the American Indians in this movie. They're really fantastic. Chief Dan George is awesome. I mean, he's such a great character. He plays a character in this film that I think his name is Lone Waddy. Now, Lone Waddy is also based off of a real historical character too. His name was Stan Waddy, and he was a Confederate general. In fact, he was the last Confederate general to surrender. So yes, Native Americans did fight for the South. And that was because they saw the Union as a common enemy, because the Union had disregarded its treaties and broken its treaties, and these people saw that they weren't going to get a fair shake from the Union, so they sided with the Confederates in a lot of cases. In fact, I just got done reading in Shelby Foote's Civil War narrative, Volume 3, not just about Van Dorn, but that later in the war, at the Red River campaign, we had Choctaw, I believe it was Choctaw Indians that were aligned with the Confederates that were fighting against colored troops from Kansas. So this is an extremely interesting film from that standpoint, and it's a good movie. It's just a good movie. It's a revenge tale, but it's more than a revenge tale. I've heard it described as a reverse Capra film, where Clint Eastwood, he forms a group, he forms a new family, essentially, and it happens very organically. I really like this movie. It's got some great dialogue in it. There's this scene where Josey Wales is being trailed by bounty hunters, and the bounty hunter comes in. He goes, "You a bounty hunter? Man's got to make a living. Dying ain't much of a living, boy." I mean, this movie's got all kinds of great dialogue in it, and it's got great music. So that's really all I have to say about this, it's not a perfect film. It does have some flaws, but I just really love this, and it's one of my all-time favorites, and it's a definite thumbs up. I'm not gonna rate it on a star scale. It's rated PG. I don't understand that. This is definitely should be like rated R for the amount of violence and some of the crazy things that happen in this that are, I think it's an R-rated film. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Thank you for watching. God bless. I gonna pull them pistols or whistle Dixie?